From the Bob Mills Weather Center, the Oklahoma weather expert, Travis Meyer.
All right, hope you've had a happy 4th of July. It's been a good day. It's been a hot day. We're going to talk about that in a minute as far as comparing to normal, if there's such a thing as normal. Anyway, today it was extremely hot all the way up into the Central Plains, down to the south. Southeast wasn't too bad. Orlando, though, at 96. That's not that cool. Northeast was good, and the west was not too bad overall for highs today. It was just pretty much the deep south. All of this is because of this big high-pressure heat dome, which is just complicating life, and usually this will happen more into the mid to late July, early August and time period. You'll get it for a week or two, and then it kind of goes away a little bit and then comes back. This thing is stubborn. Then it got here too early, and it's staying too long. And so there's very few opportunities for rain. The only time that we have a slight chance of thunderstorms is when this high moves off, retrogrades a little bit further west, and then there will be a few storms will form to the northwest of us and could clip northeast Oklahoma, but for the most part, I mean, we're going to be on the struggle bus, especially if you don't like hot weather. Temperatures this time of year are the hottest it gets any time of the year in July, and then they start to taper off later in August. But this is the peak right now. We're cresting at 93 to 94, and that's where we're going to stay until mid to late August, and then it starts to drop off. But unfortunately, we're going to be above normal by some 10 degrees or more as we go through much of the rest of the week, which is a heat wave, and that just kind of tapers down slightly. We could see a few isolated storms as we get on into late next week, but for the next 10 days, I mean, unless you live in the Panhandle where it never has rained for the last year, and all of a sudden that's picked up because of the way the situation is with the jet stream, it's just going to be a few isolated hit-and-miss storms. So we're looking, and as I mentioned, 24 days now, the water just shut off. And so we have, I think by Thursday when we get a new update, we're going to see a big enhancement across Oklahoma as far as dry, abnormally dry, and usually it's dry anyway this time of year, but even abnormal dry, things are going to get pretty nasty. We're in the 80s to around 90. Heat island effect a little bit going on here in Tulsa, while Muskogee, you guys at 83. Pryor coming in at 80. So tonight through the morning hours, quiet. Temperatures are anticipated to drop into the 70s, but in the metro areas, we're hanging near 80. And so that's really a very uncomfortable temperature to be for the overnight low. You want it more in the 70s. It is a lot better for animals, for human beings, just to not have to stress out so much. Unfortunately, tomorrow's a big stressor again. We're back into the 100-degree range. For many of us, a light south wind, not a strong wind. So that's going to be an issue coming up. Heat index values tomorrow, stifling and dangerous, could be deadly. So make sure you're aware of what's going on. If you work outside, you stay hydrated. You need to wear light colored clothing and hats. I don't like to boss people, but it's like you need to do that for your own good. We're talking about heat advisories in effect. And we're talking about that continuing for many areas. And this could be a daily thing for the next few days because Wednesday's highs, check this out, upper 90s to low 100s. These are not record highs, but these are dangerous readings, especially if you like to exercise outside or if you have to work physically a lot outside. Choose your times, maybe not in the middle of the afternoon when it's the worst. As far as what's going on right now, we're sitting at 91 degrees. 95 is still the heat index downtown, leftover smoke. And we're talking about for the 4th of July, one of the hottest ones we've had in a while. 101 was the official high in Tulsa, and this is now, as you look back down and over the last few years, it has been hot and stifling at times, but boy, this was something else. And to the latest to really reach 100, or last time we hit 100 on 4th of July, you have to go back to 1990. So this is not a good sign as we start to go forward. Our forecast looks like this: mid-80s as we go through early morning hours, near 80 in Tulsa. And again, that's not good. Heat advisories in effect will be in the mid-70s in outlying areas. That's our best news. And then tomorrow, ridiculous hot by noon. I mean, these are serious temperatures. And again, if you love being outside, working outside, playing outside, everybody's kind of having to get back to work. But I tell you what, this is I was trying to find some new data that would say, hey, we can drop this temperature down. But even if I dropped it down by 5 degrees, it's still 100 on Friday. So you can't even make a good call on this one other than say, we're in it for the long run. But man, we got to smile and through the midst of this heat wave.